Hello, hello, and welcome to Stone the Crown. I'm here with the fucking legend Rex Landy, and we are here to do our monthly roundup, which I have called April, but it's not April, it is May.
Hey.
May's roundup. Red monthly.
Kia ora, kia ora,
Hello, Di.
everybody. How's
That
it
Apple,
going?
that is in here. Fima's in here, Rex.
Hello. Oh, bless you. Morning, girls. Well, we've decided today to avoid the opening of the dreaded month of June. It's actually the 32nd of May today.
We identify it as.
It's identified as the 32nd of May, and it's just as well because there's always late entries that just desperate to get on the list.
That's it. No, because we did realize that, didn't we, Rex? That if we stuck to the last Saturday of the month, that we could miss out on a whole 5 days of absolute turdery and
Yeah.
troonery.
Indeed. And there's always, plenty of them trying to fucking squeeze their way into this list, eh?
Oh my God!
Race
Yes,
to the bottom. Race to the bottom. Shall we crack on?
we should. We should. So,
What a month. Another month. Oh.
look, you got to have a laugh at it because if you don't have a giggle at this shit, Rex, it will drive you mental.
Oh, too late for me, but yes. I always think of that roller coaster though, with the newly peaked, and the us fucking buckle up buttercups.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. What a her of a month, another one. And number 10, my goodness, we've
10,
got our top 10.
We're sharing the window. The window's in. Share it. Share it. I found this little beauty on the internet.
Oh, look, the tomboy.
Always.
Hey, that haircut's fucking doing a lot of heavy lifting in her grift, isn't it? That haircut's doing a fuckload of heavy lifting in her grift. It continues.
Never stops.
The tomboy. I was a tomboy. I could have been trans, but I'm not. And all this, hot hair from, smelling your man bits.
How does it make any sense though? Like if it stood by its convictions of I could have been a boy but I'm not, I could have been a man but I'm not, why isn't it? Why isn't it buying into the fairy tale, the story? Because it certainly doesn't mind platforming AGPs along with detransitioners at its events.
I know, it's just wrong. No, thank you, because people making money off this, no, thank you. You're not our friends. You're up on the turd list. This is not a money-making exercise. There are broken bodies and mutilated children. And you're telling me, one woman here says God said that she doesn't have to be poor. I mean, nobody has to be poor, I guess, if she's, by her reasoning. But her God said that she can make money on this, so it's okay. It's like, no, it's not. It's not okay. Far out.
Can you imagine putting on an event, Rex, and inviting your people who have just come off crack, right?
Yeah.
With crack dealers at the same event. Can you just imagine?
Imagine the poor drug addicts, like heroin addicts and all of that. These are state-sponsored drug addicts, and now there's one in every home. And the facilitators thereof who pretend to be fighting it, but you'll notice the grift never ends. It's a bit like that Simpsons soap opera, it never ends. Because what would they be doing? Because there's no money in well people.
That's right. I call my next grift crack spec.
Yeah, crack spec. Heroin spec. Let's go, and we'll teach you how not to and how to come away from that. Some people swap chairs on the Titanic. It is Stella is true trans. There's, just like the people who think they're Napoleon why don't we give them a horse and a sword and validate their identity? Same as the people who think they're the queen. Cleopatra, there's a lot of Cleopatras. Notice that. But nobody wants to go Liz Taylor on them and give them a lavish set to live in and all that. Fuck's sake. This is the only mental illness that the patients demand as a civil right. It's the only one. Imagine, like the amputees, people are like, oh, draw the line at the amputees wanting their arm cut off or their leg or You note those people that have that body dysmorphia never want their head cut off. So I'm being flippant, but fuck, what are we going to validate next? They cannot see the ghastly, you're making a meat suit out of your body. And over in Ireland, look who we have. I'd teach her the Nuremberg swing if I could, but I'd pillory her in the street first. This is the woman who enjoys cutting the breasts off patients. The look of unholy glee. Siv Gallagher is her name. She carries no insurance, so you can't sue her. And any hate watchers or trannies, welcome aboard. There's some tissues in the background there for your issues. Buckle up, Troon. You'll never be a woman. The
yeet the teat herself. We little chunkies. She will cut off your boobies and then cut the little bits off and then try to literally meat-leggy you back together, this lady. Like, she is literally...
Wee chonkies. And what she does, she slices the nipple into bits and then chooses the best bits to reattach. So true meat Lego Mengele, she is top of the tree. I would Nuremberg swing her in Minecraft. Perhaps I ought to say that as a disclaimer. But really and truly, the horrors that these surgeons are perpetrating upon our children, I mean, not my children, but they're all our children. We've forgotten those sayings of like it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
It sounds all corny in that.
Well, she's an absolute disgrace. And her sister too.
Yep, Napoleon suits a horse and sword for all of them. Why don't we validate the people who say burn every third house on every street I walk down on a Thursday? That's valid. It's the voices telling them. This is what I'm saying. Fuck. It's so wrong. It's so wrong.
So I mean, these people here too with their private practices, it's like, okay, in America they've got their gun laws and that. There should be some really tight, they should go through some psychological testing to prove that they're not sociopaths and psychopaths, these people who just like cutting people up.
Yeah, because you do need a little lick of it, I think. You do need a little touch of some sort of apathy to cut your fellow human up, whether it's for good, or evil. And for good, you keep it in check, you rein it in. Maybe you're a long distance runner, maybe you cook fantastical meals in your time off to download and come down from that and come away from staring at the abyss, because these people, I believe, they enjoy their job, and that is state-sanctioned child abuse, state-sanctioned and celebrated and cheered on mutilation of future generations, And when they all wake up, because every house, Catherine Robillard, I don't know how to say your last name, darling, Catherine Robillard, I'm not sure. Anyway, Catherine, she said people will wake up when there is a mutilated child in every household, because this is the lifelong patient model. It's by design. The fault is built into the first appointment of, you say you're trans, boom, job done. Now it's non-binary, nullo, all the other. So fuck you, Siv Gallagher. You deserve to swing.
Yep. And I hope that I'm here for the day it happens.
I really want to start. I'm taking care of myself, but I want to take better care of myself to live long enough to be the woman in the audience that watches them swing.
Absolutely.
Massage, only I'll be weaving or something, doing a bit of tarnical and watching that, because that is just not fucking on. And I think we've lost our fear of that because it's being so celebrated. Instead of it, perversions being kept in the closet, now you bring your whole self to work. I don't want to
That,
know about your gimp suit, fucker.
absolutely. And that bring your whole self to work business just
Yeah,
does my head in, Rex. Like, why? Why do I need to know? What is it that I need to know about you other than your ability to do the fucking job?
that's right. I don't care whether you make matchstick models. I don't care whether you play sport or whatever. That's for morning tea and afternoon tea time. But now the talk is, I can't wait to tell the children in my class about my polycule and all that shit. Fuck the fuck off.
No,
So
that's it. Just yeah, it like it does my head in. Unless, like you said, unless I'm sitting down and I'm having me big lunch or me little lunch with you,
yeah, yeah,
and we're mates, and I've asked you a question, and we're I don't want to know. I'm not
yeah.
interested in it. I don't even care about your fucking sister or your uncle or unless just do your
But people
job. Just
think
make sure that you're doing your job and
that's
I'm not
right.
having to pull your weight.
Do your job. That's right. Do your
Had enough
job.
of my own fucking weight. Don't need to pull yours.
I don't care what you do in your off duty time. You know, Fuck. And people have forgotten that because there are no boundaries, no clear boundaries, because men can be women and anyone can be who they want to be. Why don't they ever want to be clean? Why don't they ever want to identify as having showered and washed their hair? Why don't they ever want to identify as a fucking housekeeper? You see, none of them identify as a 36-year-old librarian with a gammy knee. They never tend to, identify as a 47-year-old cleaning woman or fucking grandma with a dodgy hip. No, it's always skirt goes spinny. Ooh, I get all these special lady feelings in my groin. Makes it all tingly.
It's
Fuck
so
off.
true, though. It's Peter
Fuck
Pan
off.
syndrome, right? Like, how are they going to age? How are they going to age? You can't tell me that they're identifying as old women.
No. And these
Jiggly
fucking
bits
old
and all,
bastards.
baby. Jiggly bits and all. Everything
No,
thinks.
I'm a teenager. I've got a little skating skirt on, Fuck off, Tranny. You're a giant man slab. And this is one of the most fucking fervent celebritats who drinks at the fucking well of considerable delusion. Isn't it, Daniel? Manuel.
He,
He
you
knows what a
notice that
woman is.
he married a biological one. He knows exactly what a woman is. He married one. He didn't
That's
marry a
right.
fucking man that calls it a female impersonator, does he? He didn't marry one
No,
of
he
them.
didn't
No.
marry someone with a stink ditch or someone who's going to carry the babies in his fucking ball sack. Because transvestites with a stiffy and a fetish aren't women, Daniel. So fuck
The
you.
best they can.
Do you know
Well,
what I
that's right.
get?
The best. Sorry,
So,
Rex.
thwarted is the word I see when I see this tiny little hairy homunculus of a man.
He's so ungrateful too. In the like, okay, you disagree with someone like J.K. Rowling. I get it. You disagree, but you're disrespectful, mate. Without her, you're nothing. Nobody knows you. You are literally nothing.
He
You
is
know what I mean?
literally, he
You're
is
trapped.
in the acting equivalent of the cupboard under the stairs now. He is actually in the acting equivalent of it. And that's what's going to happen to you. So fuck you, Daniel Radcliffe. You fucking, he's our celebritard, and so is just a late entry, couldn't help herself, Kate Blanchett, actress with millions and millions of dollars, middle class. She's middle class.
He's
Fuck
middle class.
middle class. What class is that? I'd settle for 2 weeks in the middle if that's middle class. You know, I was watching a movie. This is years ago in the 80s, and we're all talking about degrees of rich, how rich we'd like to be, I think it was my sister. She goes, "Oh, I'd like to be this lovely limo pulls up, you know, she goes, I'd like to be rich enough that be my car. And our sister-in-law said, I'd like to be rich enough that that's my gardener's car. And yeah, I'm like, that's middle class for Kate. Hey, my gardener's got a limousine. Oh no, Pedro has to, you know, he drives himself to work.
But you just go, what the hell? Where are they living? Have they not left their? Do they literally go from studio to house? Do they not see the outside world at all? Period.
You don't have to. You don't have to. It's like all the celebritards, you know, they, oh, stop following me, stop hounding me, and all that shit. Diana used to tip the press off. You know, old lady Di, she used to tip the press off. I'm going to go and hold the hand of a little child tonight. But don't tell anybody, you fucking hypocrite. You know, a lovely clothes horse. But anyway, that celebrity, you know, they don't have to if you don't want to be seen. You know,
That's
you never
right.
see Harrison Ford unless he wants you to. You can buy privacy. Viggo Mortensen, old Aragorn, he comes to New Zealand regularly because he has horses here. After Lord of them Things, he had some horses and has, you know, people here, and he goes and stays. But all he has to do is walk down Lambton Quay barefoot and everyone will know he's here. But he doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, duh.
Well, Russell Crowe, he was known for literally always wearing the same clothes every time he left the house, because New Idea used to like to do their spreads. So he figured if he wore the same clothes all the time when he left the house, people would start going, oh, sure, it's because they couldn't date him and what day because he was wearing the same clothes. I thought that was
yeah. That is smart because people put a lot of stock by appearances and, you know, set a bit in store by it. But yes, our celebritard Daniel Radcliffe, you disrespectful, he is just like a hairy little boiled lolly that's stuck to the wonderful blanket that's JKR. He is. He's the thwarted. The word thwarted. He has this much talent, you know. So
there's a couple of movies that he's in, The Lost City and Now You See Me Too.
Yeah.
And I reckon that's him. I reckon that right there is his personality.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, but like when you get that uneasy feeling about Jack Nicholson.
yes. They're cast types, you know. And those two characters and those two, it's so like the millionaire sociopath psychopath vibe, you know.
Yeah, and now he's just living it. So yes, we move on to, oh, this is such a magical story. Sophie Sparkle. You and Weddle, you're a tranny. You're a man, and he's with, who's that dilator, Mr. Herbert? The man who lies down on fucking toilet floors and public toilets and dilates his stink ditch. Heather Herbert. He's a right Herbert, all right. So he's got a polycule with one other degenerate tranny. So that's 3 troons. Ooh, imagine the fucking stench. Sophie was
3 troons is in the dictionary as stench.
A stench of troons in their polycule. And there's his ball gags. If you look on Sophie Sparkles, he's a porn sick tranny. He also acts and sings, and he's got some rage-filled songs about how he hates the TERFs and sing. So he was a perfect match for the Peens. Absolute perfect match. He's been, his public, you know, pictures of him and, you know, BDSM and fetish poses and such didn't raise a murmur. But then he called JKR a torn-faced cow. And that was a bridge too far. So he was dropped from the Peens, the Greens, Scottish Greens. He went, well, I'm going to flounce on over to the SNP. Are you? Yes? No? Oh, they said no, thank you. And then he asked Jonathan there, India Willoughby, do you want to form a party? It's going to be the rainbow party. Oh, yay, up above the streets and houses. So he did not
Backfired a little, Rex.
It backfired a little bit because he made this big assertion on public Twitter that he's going to be the rainbow party. And somebody bought the party name. So he can't have it.
You never mention ever your name before you buy the,
But he's fundraising and he's had 4 supporters, I think. A bit of a stark contrast to across the ditch there with Mr. Trump managed to raise 52 million in 24 hours.
That's crazy, isn't it?
52 million after he got charged and on 34 counts? What a load of rubbish. His lawyer made a payment to Stormy Daniels and it was misfiled in his returns. He didn't instruct his lawyer to do that. His lawyer did that. So I've done a little bit of reading about it, and that's my understanding. Oh, look at me with my Twitter degree. That's what people say as an insult or whatever. But, when KCs now, the QCs, when KCs and people are proffering the information as it stands and lawyers from America, but anyway, I think that's going to backfire spectacularly. But poor old Sophie Sparkles, no party wants you, and you can't even fucking have the rainbow party. Hey, see, this is
not for you.
Yeah, this is what he's like. But he's quite. If you want to have a good laugh, go and listen to some of his singing, because he sings as well as he passes as a woman, so which is not very well at all. And as a singer, he'd make a good blacksmith, I'd say. And his acting, he's been to the Pinocchio School of Acting, because his poverty as a prison is fucking the funniest thing. It is. It is a few minutes of your life, but it is quite funny. The whole production values, the singing.
Well, the thing is, Rex, you try to share these clowns, you try to share their little ditties with somebody in your family to try to pique them, and they just go, that's satire, that can't be real, like, it's so ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. We can't parody them hard enough. There is no valley too deep, no uncanny valley too deep to be plumbed. And to counter this mad bastard Sophie in Scotland, and who else have we got in Scotland? Is there anyone else? Because the fucking redoubtable Elaine Miller, thank you, you're worth 5,000 trannies, darling. You really are. You've got the turf power 5,000 boss level. Gussie Grips on Twitter, if you don't follow her already. Elaine's a comedian and she's also got On a Mission. She's fantastic. I came across her a few years ago when she was talking about women are incontinent and we're dying of shame. And by shame, we get shamed by being incontinent, but not understanding our own sexual health, about our vulva and vagina, not just the vagina, which is the inside bit, and the outer, and being able to just talk about it, normalize being able to talk and not go down there,
Yes. Well, I'll give a little shout out while we're here to Numsy Boom. I don't know if anybody follows her. They definitely should. She's over on X. She's in Swaziland, and she is absolutely relentless with spreading the word about period and destigmatizing periods in Africa over there. And I've been following her for a little while there, Rex, and she followed me back. But here's the thing. She got a bit of a donation recently from Miss J.K. Rowling's her very fucking self. So congratulations, Lucy Broom. And I'm going to see if I can get her to come on Warriors. I think I might be able to try to reach out to her and have a little chat. That would be great if I can. But yeah, I mean, look, what a surprise. I actually, by reading it, I don't think she realised who J.K. Rowling's was.
Yeah, how cool is that?
And how great, like how her donation actually was. It was a little later where she sort of wrote this post, and I think she'd done a bit of research on, hey, wait a minute, this lady's put some money into my GoFundMe, and it's like, we're all like, yeah. She's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it is funny. I know JK would be cool if someone didn't know who she was, but some celebrities do get a little upset. Because I met someone in London who was on TV, and I didn't have a TV, so I didn't know who the fuck he was. And I was, oh, you somewhere, well, what do you do? Because everyone's listening to you, and you're actually quite dull. Because I'm actually a lot more sociable now. And that everyone was like looking at me. I said, you're quite dull. I said, that wasn't even a funny story. I've got a funnier story than that. And I was away. This is why I don't drink much. But apparently he was like a talking head on some program, some man. And I was, oh, do you work in TV? You're like a cameraman or whatever. Do you write? He went, oh, no, actually, I'm the anchor. I was, oh, a talking head. Oh, so for the rest of the night when he talked, I'd just go, oh, how interesting. I was a fucking bastard, but, he wasn't that funny. And when they meet people who don't know who they are, it throws them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I did a little tiny stint in a fetish club with a photographer there for a while, and one of our Big Brother people who was a dominatrix was there. I had no idea who she was, and she was completely put out that I didn't know who she was. And my mate thought it was hilarious. She kept laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? She's going, oh, you have really pissed her off by not acknowledging who she is. I'm like, I don't know who she is.
Why? Why would I? I don't know who she is. I'm here to take some photos for you. Calm down, hey.
I'm just here to work. They're all, they're doing their thing over there. I'm here to do my job. Leave me alone. So, yeah. All right, who we got?
Who we got next?
We got.
Oh,
is that sharing? Wait. Here we go.
We've got a few from some countries, actually.
We got a few.
She's shocking.
Here we go. So that was what was her last name? We forgot her last name. Netburn, Sarah Netburn.
This is the woman who okayed putting a 6'2" child rapist, a kid fucker pedophile, repeat offender into a women's prison in Texas, and making me agree with Ted Cruz. He ripped her a new asshole, but like he hasn't got her out of the fucking tranny out of our jail, but America's got a few this month, haven't we?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, we've got Caron Fisher, 20-year-old tranny killer. 20, he hit a man with the car, 64, I think he was, 63, 64, hit this man with a car, drove back over him, and then went and got a knife, kissed him, and then stabbed him. He just frenzied and ugly. 20 years old, and a late entry is that Panda Emily Aradia shot a gun off in a hospital in America and is now in women's prison for 20 years. That vexes me, not going to lie. And a lot of people don't really feel for the women in prison. We do have a very parochial and punitive mindset. Punish. And yeah, there's wrongdoers and we need to have laws and boundaries and guidelines. But for fuck's sake, when there's ball palmers like this.
But they don't look at the big picture of that whole Rex.
Yeah.
You know, the big picture is you're literally locking someone in with a man in a cage, which is just fucked up. But a lot of women's prisons, women have children in there too. You know, the average person's not thinking about the fact that in a lot of cases with single women, and you might have ended up in a domestic dispute or something, you've protected yourself, you've taken them out, uh,
Children.
you know, and your little babies are in there with you. So you're putting pedophiles, men who have a you know thing for children,
and
and
now
women in with women and children. Like it's an absolute disgrace.
it's
We were
insane.
fighting just to keep the guards out of women's prisons, male
I
guards out of women's prisons, and now the focus has to be kept on keeping males, period, out of women's prisons.
end up placing them here in every country. Every country in the West is allowing trannies, giant transvestite men with a fetish, without a fetish. I don't care what your fetish is. Fuck you, because all men are men. It doesn't matter whether they're non-offending. It doesn't matter whether you're married to a Puna manlet and keep a job and have a quiet, blameless life. You are a man. I don't give a fuck. You are a man. Stay out. And this is war, and I think we're a little late to it. But when we rise, we are going to fucking smash this shit. I
Oh,
really feel
absolutely.
it. It's this the seismic shift in every strata there is. It's like a, like in that Jurassic Park in the water, there's just that boom, and the water just goes like that. It's only been one step because this is a big beast. Many, many fights, many, many battles. Yeah, lots.
Absolutely.
It's like a big rolling, um, what are they called? A ruck, a maul, and a ruck and maul in rugby, where they're just like this, and it's. But this is not just one field worth of pushing people. We are going to have to push this shit back into the closet, and then we're going to have to nail it shut. Concrete it
Absolutely.
over. We cannot ever, ever let this stand. We cannot.
Absolutely. And that we got to teach our
Cannot.
daughters that.
I am aghast that people don't feel for these women in prison. Most women are in prison for fucking traffic and not paying your TV license and fucking fraud. Like not. There are bad women. I get that. There are criminal women that won't rise above. I get that. And yes, they're in there. Personally, if you're a lifer, I'd really love to see a meeting of the minds there, shall we speak? If you're in for life forever, well, fuck. What's, you know, it's coming to
Well,
that point. I'm coming to think to that point because it's just unconscionable. This is against the Geneva Convention on torture, locking men up in a cage with women, because he gets a tingly feeling in his dick because when people validate him in his skirt, that doesn't mean you're a woman. It means you're a fucking pervert.
the
Sorry.
numbers here in Queensland are the testament to it.
Yeah.
Steph Hughes, her name is. She's done a lot of amazing work here with the numbers of people in prisons here in Queensland. And we're talking about just over 800 women incarcerated in Queensland and over 10,000 men. Out of that 10,000 men, there are 60 that identify as women. We don't know how many have had the snip and flip that are in with women at the moment, but those 60 men, Rex, are going to be dropped into the women's prisons, and you can see it, that little banner down there, on the 24th.
And I don't care if you cut your dick off and punch it back into your body as a collapsed tunnel that smells of shit. I don't care whether you slice and dice your body into meat Lego, tranny. I don't. I don't give a fuck. You'll never ever be a woman. You can slice and dice yourself, drug yourself, be surrounded by sycophants who will appease your ego. You'll never ever be a woman, and I don't give a fuck. I will never ever kowtow to this shit, eh? Fuck it. No. And because there has been a shift, yes, we're rising. What number are we at?
Oh,
Fuck, I don't know.
oh no, we're just absolutely just rattling off the numbers. We're getting close to our top 3, I think, Rex.
I know. Well, and Dr. Robert Garofalo, he's one of the butchers, along with Crane and Ting and all the others. Dr. Crane says breasts grow back if you put on weight. But what's his name? Robert Garofalo, he gets a mention because he is doing the rounds on Twitter. He's the doctor who's going, yeah, well, we affirm them, and he's like a hostage. His eyes are twitching, and he's at the difficult bits where he's telling the lie. But he uses the word young person.
Yes.
These are children. So fuck you. And this is why language is so important.
Yes.
We can segue from Garofalo with the language to Jane Clare Jones in the UK, because Turf Island leading the way, but with useful idiots like our toilet brush Jane Clare Jones. Shut up. Just shut up. Because it really feels like she has got her opinions from round the toilet bend. And that's segueing into our top 3, I think, with the Jane Clare Jones waded in, because Inflection Point are they waded into a New Zealand situation and gave her £5 worth, with all her posh long words about why it's wrong to work with other people against the gender borg to make an alliance. Now, I haven't converted. We've made a, Manawahine Kōrero, Turfs Across the Water, and Inflection Point, and a couple of holy rollers, Brian Tamaki with Destiny Church and Bob McCoskrie, were asked to speak with other speakers at a conference. Inflection Point are our the think tank that got together and had this. We were met with lots of opposition, and Nico Winera, he's a lovely little green communist prick, little man, angry little man, said he was going to do everything he could to stop it and shut it down. And if we made a violent protest, if there was a violent protest, we could shut it down. And I'm going to do everything I can to do it. And if I can't, I'll be on the picket line. Now, I don't think that cunt's worked a day in his life, really. He wouldn't know what a picket line was if it came and bit his ass. So he had organised, his friends organised the trannies to come and protest. It went ahead at our brand new event centre that promised audio-visual, promised all facilities and everything for us for the day, for the attendees. And on the day, said no. The night before, no, there won't be any streaming or any equipment available for you to use. No AV stuff. So that night, Inflection Point solved it at 9 o'clock when one of the men, Brian Tamaki, has audio-visual kit, and he sent 2 men down on a plane first thing Saturday morning and set the kit up for us. The cafe closed at 10 a.m. in solidarity with the tranny men who have a weeping hole where their dick used to be, or have an estrogen-soaked weeping turkey neck of a dick that doesn't work anymore. You're a tranny, you're a man, fucking cope. So they were supporting them. They shut. So they'd avoid, but I don't want some scum cunt spitting in me coffee, because I know that women don't have dicks. So, and then the staff at the convention centre made the disabled people walk hundreds and hundreds of metres. They put put ropes around and roped off areas, so they had to walk right round. Couldn't use the elevators. These are the staff. This is against the discrimination on the grounds of disability. But they wouldn't let them until great big men said, "Why are you not letting these women use the lifts?" And they went, "Oh, no, we're not. No, please use them."
Yeah.
The security staff, they were cunts. That's it. You were absolute cunts. Wellington City Council, Te Papa, Nico, I don't care about my language. It's salty. You're worried about that while women are being raped in jail. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, they got hit with poo bombs, I believe. There was a bit of monkey poo flinging going on.
Who saves their own shit? Disturbed people who are not right in the fucking head. And show me a tranny that's not fucking well. Oh, well, gosh. They're all not well, aren't they? So, some tranny loving supporter had a bottle full of his own shit and piss, and he threw it trying to catch one of the speakers, but he ended up getting tackled, and it ended up all on himself and the police, who were too slow to act. So fuck you, Plod. You know, they made sure that the cafe was closed, so that the only cafe was across the road at the museum where the trannies were. And, you know, it was a very good thing for us. Thank you very much, Inflection Point. You know, because, as I say, there's been a shift. One of the speakers was Catherine Chua, who was a mother of 5. So, you know, when you see the boss fights are on games and it just says so-and-so has entered the chat, and it's like, yeah, the ordinary mums have now entered the chat. The ordinary mums have entered the fight. She has met and been stymied here. New Zealand and Australia, very captured. And like you say, self-ID comes in Queensland. It's already here. People can falsify their birth certificates to assert their lady feelings. We are making a social fiction a legal reality, and it is fucking wrong. And against this background, we have some grifter pig Māori scum, because scum rises, doesn't it, Mr. Tamaheri? This is the oppressed, marginalised, and victim of colonialism, racism, and land theft, Tamaheri. That's the house he lives in, while saying we're oppressed. And him and his ilk, he's the president, of the Māori Party. And him and the other Māori Party leaders, Rawiri, half-wit, this man David and Debbie, they have called to overthrow his, David, the leader, his wife is called to overthrow the government. They've talked treason and sedition. They're going to set up their own parliament. Now, they announced that yesterday on Friday. I would have just said, fine, I would have locked them out of parliament, shut their offices. You don't work here anymore. Go make your own parliament. Take your paramata and go and do it on your marae, and you can rule over your little dung heap, you motherfuckers. It's actually millions and millions they've got. They administer charities, pay themselves 650 notes. That's not $650 a week, it's 650,000 a year.
Not too shabby.
And they're claiming that, you know, we need to rise up and overthrow the government. And what, the government that's paid for all of that, John? The government, you know, and with him and Rawiri, I mean, David, God bless him, he was so fat he had to have his guts cut. And these are the people telling us that, you know, we need to march and have days off work. But this cunt was over in Paris eating macarons in the biggest cost of living crisis we've ever seen. Where was he? Him and the other little porkies at the trough. These fucking grifter pigs do not speak for Māori. They had 3% to the vote. They are 3%. But our last census allows you to identify as Māori, and you've been able to for a few decades now.
So you can just identify as Māori, is that correct?
You can too. Anyone can. There are, allegedly, our last census was a fucking clusterfuck. Deborah Russell was in charge, and she's a whey-faced maggot. We all know Deb, I just had to stretch my back. Yes, because performing linguistic exercises for the feelings of men is not exercise. No wonder your back's fucked. She was in charge of our census. She was giving people $100 vouchers, K-Fries vouchers. Please fill out the census. My neighbour got threatened with arrest. She said, fuck you, arrest me. She said, go get the police now, bring them back and arrest me. And he changed his mind, the census worker. You've met my neighbour. Can't think why he'd change his mind. Fuck off. But I didn't fill out the census, but suddenly we have 1 million Māori people in New Zealand. There's 1 million. No, there's not 1 million. Holy fuck. There's maybe 150, 200,000 tops. Maybe, I don't know.
I was just going to say, Did all of a sudden the ones that we have here in Queensland move home?
I know, yeah, but you never. I lived in London. I lived in London. I never felt oppressed, and But when anybody tries to counter what they're saying, they go, "Oh, you've been colonized. Look at you. You acting like the Pākehā in your head already." And it's like, your fucking name is David. Shut up. Your, your name is Debbie. Debbie. Fucking fuck up. They're in the white man's clothes. I mean, it actually looks like a steampunk revival, the Māori Party. It does. You have a look at these clowns. This is how they dress for Parliament. He's in sunglasses. Is he hungover, wasted, or fucking needs to sleep? I don't know, but you don't wear sunglasses in the house. He's a disrespectful fucking dog. David, you need to fucking go home to your marae and stack the mattresses, clean the toilets, and shut your fucking ass.
That's so true, hey. Like, sunglasses in Parliament is one step away from Homer with the eyeballs just painted on, right?
And he has the temerity. But you see, when you get sworn into Parliament, you swear allegiance to the King. Well, you do now because the Queen's dead, but before it was the Queen. You swore allegiance to the Crown. And they swore allegiance to the Crown. And now they're going to set up their own Parliament. But they're saying, oh, well, we're 50% of the prison population. Give us 50% of that money. What are they going to do with those prisoners? What are they going to do with 9,000 prisoners? And yes, some are there for traffic and some are there for, burglary and things, but some are there for murder and other unwholesome activities.
Yes.
And what are they going to do? Sing Kumbaya on the marae to them. So we are undergoing, and they're calling for revolution. They're advertising their shit with muskets, and that's rhetoric. But when a pastor uses a biblical passage of David and Goliath, or the Birds doing that song, to every season there is a time.
Yep.
And there's a time to sow, and there's a time to reap, and a time to kill. And when the pastor used "there's a time to kill" in his allegory of the sermon, well, that's hate speech. But the guy teaching anal and fisting to your 8-year-old is not, you bigot.
No, totally acceptable.
Fucking clown world, make it stop. So there's number 3, the Wellington City Council. Thank you, inflection point. And we're going to save our big ups to with number 3 and number 2 after our Oz self-ID comes in Queensland. But we've got Hunter for this after Australia.
So Rex, as you know, I went to Adelaide this month.
Yeah.
And while on holiday in Adelaide, you are not going to believe what I fucking met in the gallery.
Look,
you can't make this shit up, right? So I walked straight into the Adelaide Art Museum, and here is a fucking statue of Susan Buck, fucking angel, in the fucking elongated fucking clitoris. Now, here's the funny thing, right? Because I didn't even look at the plaque. I'm just like, get the fuck out. Anyway, the security guy sort of gave me a look. I said, you've got a statue of a pornographer here. And he went, what? So I got to peek in real time, not only the security guy working in Adelaide Art Gallery, but every other person standing in this room with me at the time, because they did not realize that this was a real damn statue. A real statue of a real person. They just thought it was a piece of modern art. So you can see how they're implanting this shit into the absolute consciousness of the everyday folk.
Modernizing, normalizing this through modern art. Fucking filth.
Like nuts. And what got me is the little plaque. The little plaque, and it normally tells you about when it was made, who it was made by, yada, 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 was very, very minimalized. It literally was called Buck with a Cigar.
Yeah.
And it named the artist, and then it named thank yous. Thank you to Susan. Thank you to blah, blah. Thank you to this. But it never once said a brass statue of Susan Buck Angel because of her pornography. Never said any of that fucking shit. It literally was so minimalized that you literally just assumed it was like this modern take on the human. Yeah. So I was absolutely feral about this. And my husband, because I had promised my husband I would do no turfing in Adelaide. It was just a holiday before his birthday. I was going to be a really good lady and a good turf. And I'm like, get fucked. And you can just see him look at me, take 2 steps aside and go, you do what you have to do and pick everybody loudly in this room. He wasn't winning this war, I can tell you. So I did pick hard. I did not shut up. And you can guarantee when we got back, we were at dinner and my hubby turned around and said to me, yeah, that security guard, he was like Googling every fucking thing you said as soon as he got home that night. So, I was sort of happy to, look, this is not okay. This is not acceptable.
Yeah, this is not societal gaslighting. You want a social fiction that helped the few marginalized sado motherfuckers rub along in society to be a legal reality. And like I say, in language, in law, in health and reality, we must not call him she. We must not call her he. She's a fucking vile, porn sick fuck. She lets men put their whole hand up inside her body. You filthy, disgusting slut. I've got nothing for you. Fuck you. And they allow her to talk at Gen Spec and everything. Fuck off.
There was 2 posts that fucking how random things come up on your X feed? There were 2 posts by Susan that came up this month, and they were literally a couple of days apart, right? They were a couple of days apart, and one was that big troon in the red dress walking on the walker, learning how to walk like a woman. And Buck says, oh, look at that, ha, ha, ha. What does that mean, learning to walk like a woman? Literally 2 days or 3 days later, Buck had a picture of her in a modelling shoot in London, Boy London, on the T-shirt, and said, they had to teach me to walk like a woman. Well, which is it, you lying hypocritical fuck? Which is it? Ha, 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 no one had to teach me to walk like a woman. 3 days later, during this modelling shoot, they had to teach me like a... I'm so butch. I'm so butch they had to teach... You walk like a woman because you fucking are one. We don't have a specific way that we fucking walk.
No, there is a specific way we stand, but not a way we walk. Yeah, no.
Yes, we stand with our balls.
Yes, so who was your cheer up in Adelaide? Who did you find in Adelaide? Do you remember you found someone in Adelaide to cheer you up?
I did. I actually, and it was on the same day, and where there was 2 parts of Adelaide that were really great, and there was a memorial garden, and that was giving a shout out to all the women in service, and that was a really beautiful walk. And the other one was the head lady of the suffragettes and her butt, and that was a really little hidden find. Like, if you didn't know where that was, because that was like in a gardens, right, like in a little corner, like they always have the suffragettes. In Brisbane, it's she's like in the corner of King George Square. You can barely find her, but yes, I did stumble across the Queen suffragette over there in Adelaide, which was a lovely little find on my little walk with my hubby, and the garden of women in service, which, are they going to start adding trannies bus to that walk?
Yeah, probably now. I mean, look, they're already casting them in bronze. There's the, statues of these mutilated people. They're mutilated. I think of them as mules too. You're turning your children into mules. And so your counter was their boss suffragette, but I'd like to to counter all this bullshit before we get to number one, with special place in hell for number one, but I would really like to big up for both of our continents is Mana Wahine Kōrero and Women's Action Group, but the co-founders of MWK, LANDY, and Michelle Uriero, who are holding the line and standing firm for women and children here on our turf, and Michelle is an international spy, obviously, because she spans 2 countries. She's been called, apart from us being called Nazis, this was a well-known feature of all the Nazi SS and Waffen. They all had their secret kauai, didn't they?
Yep.
Motherfuckers. Yeah, Nazi, not a zealous ideologue. Di, you did set the stage on fire at the Inflection Point conference. We had a wealth of information. We had Mia Hughes, we had Posey, we had ordinary mums, we had the religious, and we've all formed a coalition. And Jane Claire Jones says that's wrong. And I say, fucking butt out of it, you fucking fuck toilet brush. The minute you gave Julia Long a hard time at the first GenSpec conference was the last time I listened to you. You species mealy mouth quizzling, get fucked, shut up. So to counter that, you beautiful women spanning 2 countries, holding the line. You've got 2 groups, Michelle, but a special big up to Mana Wahine Kōrero this month for your showing it Inflection Point. Ki rangatira te Mana Wahine Kōrero, Mauri ora tuakana Landy.
So I do believe you can find them over on Rumble, Rex. You can see Di over on Rumble and her fabulous speech.
Kōrero, her whai kōrero, that's formal speech. And it was fire. And thank you to Mel for coming over. You beautiful girl. We got you. Your auntie's over here anytime. You know that, Mel. Shout out from all of us. But yes, for holding the line amongst all this shit going on in Australia and New Zealand. Michelle Uriero, bring the lightning, definitely. Over there, and she will not kowtow. Not now, not ever. And thank you for over here. And we've got more in the pipeline. We've got later this month, grandparents guarding grandkids. We've got a meeting at Parliament. Somebody could drop the date in the chat. I'm not in the chat, but if somebody could drop the date, please, Sarah Jean or Di. We are meeting, and we have some fabulous speakers lined up. And I hope we've got our compare, and we will be speaking truth to power again about sterilising children is wrong. Children don't need cancer drugs if they don't have cancer. Women don't have penises and men don't get pregnant. Fuck your pronouns, and this is why we must never, ever, ever use the language of the oppressor. And as to you, Maya Forstater, if you don't get that mud out of your mouth, you'll be on our list next month. TikTok, you're on notice. You're on fucking notice. Not that it means, because I'm a professional nobody and no fucker's going to listen to me anyway. Been at it 9 years and no cunts listening.
Look, 27th of June. 27th of June.
27th of June, we are meeting at the Beehive, and we are going to speak truth to power and have some wonderful people who've got these resources that are being pulled together. We've got Resist Gender Education. They've got an alternate curriculum already because a lot of them are ex-teachers who are watching the grooming and destabilising of the psyche of our children. This is a destabilising exercise on their personalities and on their psyches. And I've been a bit off-piste today, but I'm angry. People wonder why I'm so angry. You're fucking harming children, you dumb fuckers. Why aren't you angry? I don't understand.
That's it.
I've been a lonely for a while now.
So Women Action Group last week, that went off a treat. So that's on YouTube, on Michelle's YouTube channel, Women's Action. It's an absolute honour to be a moderator on that chat. I absolutely adore being in there, and
the vibe was awesome. The vibe was awesome. And like I said, that seismic shift, there's just been a little shimmer, but not because not enough had joined up. It's sort of like critical mass, once that avalanche has got enough, because it is coming, and I can feel those, the ropes, that are sort of keeping us tied in, that ping, ping, ping. I can feel them loosening because it's coming. It really is. The clapback, it's going to be a while though, because this is a big fight, and they've embedded themselves. They've had 10 years.
That's right.
Unfettered. It's been a long time, longer than that, but they've had 10 years of calling us bigots for calling this shit out and silencing us. So Nazi, not a zealous ideologue, bigot, believer in genuine observable truths, and the other one, pride, for this month.
Yep.
Pedo rights installers, disgusting everyone. That's what pride means to me now, forever and ever. Paedophile rights installers, disgusting everyone.
All right, so I'm gonna switch over to
Danny Cam.
So you're gonna hold the fort there for a second, right?
All righty. We're gonna switch to Danny Cam, my friends. So get ready for our number one. It was by overwhelming majority. Sadly.
Okay.
Moving over to the Danny Cam.
There's the Danny Cam. Okay, so I'm hopping up. You can see the other side of my room.
Okay, and last month, it was Jason.
It was Tickle Me Rocks.
Yes.
Mr. Tickle Me Rocks.
You weeping hole. You're a transvestite. You're a fucking man slave. You will never be a woman. You're going to get flushed.
All right, he's getting a flushing.
Yes.
Yay, flushed. So number one is a country. So we've had our New Zealand, we've had our bloody Australia. I've got to say, big thank you to HJ. HJ sent me the date of self-ID being confirmed, being the 24th. So that's when men can just come in. So it's no more waiting for the date. That's when somebody who's 15, who just turned 16, who has had someone vouch for them for 12 months, can go get their titties cut off. You're 16 and one day you got your name. You can change your birth certificate. But number one is Germany.
Germany. You lawmakers, you filthy, disgusting, pedo-enabling motherfuckers. They have decriminalised pornography, child pornography.
Yep, it's no longer a crime. No longer a crime.
It's an offence. It's no longer a felony. And these are the people that gave every paedophile their own child to abuse back in the 50s or 60s. This is the Weimar Institute, the tranny fucking SS, the place, the home of trannies and degeneracy of this sort. So overwhelmingly, even though we've got murderers and celebritards and malicious compliance and people trying to shut us down, all of that, fuck you, Germany. Get fucked. Pedophiles. Child pedophiles.
This is showing what the plus, you want to know what the plus is? This is the plus, people. This is the plus. This map bullshit. This minor attractive person rebranding every fucking thing. This is what Germany is doing. This is part of the overall rebranding of perversions.
Yep. Like my funny little interview with David Hayton. I'm the acceptable face of perversion. Never ever collude with the trannies. Never ever collude with anyone with a fetish. Because the minute you sniff or try your mother's underpants on, fuck you. The minute you sniff or try your sister's underpants on, you can get fucked, go and shit in your hands and clap, you filthy pervert. That's the end of it. Just know you're a pervert now. You're a pervert in a skirt, and I will never ever validate you. So hope you've enjoyed our Turd of the Month, but sadly it's Germany for their stance on child porn, softening and normalising degenerate, filthy pedos.
That's
No
right.
wonder
And you
they
know,
won't monetize us. They won't monetize us, girls. Sorry. But
no,
oh well.
no grift on this channel, mate. No grift. Hey, Stone the Crone has made $30 in 3 years. I sold one beanie.
Ooh, you fucking mogul. Look at you. You'll be in the dragon in no time, eh?
The grift is real. The grift is real. But we do it. We do it because we got to.
We got to.
We got
Oh,
to.
funny late entry here. The Labour Party, right? The budget was unveiled by the coalition government. The Labour Party went, oh, tax cuts. Why don't you donate your tax cuts to us? So, fuck off. Hey, fuck off.
Just.
So, and I'm going to fuck off now too, because that's us, isn't it?
That's us.
That's
Rex,
us.
thank you once again.
Mwah. Thank you for inviting me. And we put this together a little on the fly, but look at that. I hope you enjoyed. Stay strong. Hold the line. Never surrender.
Never surrender, Rex.
Yes. Love you, girl. Bye.
Night. So never surrender, Rex, Landy. Stay loud, my friends. Stone the Crone. See you next month for the roundup in June. I do apologise. I'll go back and update the little things. I've written April and I meant May. This has been the Turd of the Month roundup for May. I'm Stone the Crone, Kellyanne. That's me mate Rex Landy from Over the Waters. Until next time, stay loud, stone out.